let's say Free Black. I make the album. It's encompassing everything that happened to me from early childhood to where I was in that moment. I had went on the road and toured it and performed it and cried it, and by the end of it, still felt like I was in it. And that was like one of the biggest lessons for me. It was like you have exhausted yourself emotionally and you have helped a bunch of other people, but mentally you haven't like handled every situation that you need to handle. It's like you made it look good and you know it was done in good purpose, but you can't exhaust yourself emotionally and not actually take care of what needs to be taken care of. So looking back at that, like that was a super tough time for me to know that I had did something good, but to know that I didn't feel good. It was like, oh, this is a weird like trade-off. This is a weird exchange because I thought, you know, being able to take care of myself and being able to take care of my family and all of those things would provide some kind of happiness, but you have inner work to do and you can't like skip any parts of the process or make yourself like look good to other people. It's like, no, you actually got to get to the bottom of like the stuff that you wrote about. You can't just write it out and think that it's fixed. It's like, no, go have that convo, go fix that thing, go mend that relationship, cut that relationship off, and then like you'll start to feel a little bit better. So good learning lesson, like I said, to just know that just because you are expressing yourself emotionally doesn't mean that you're truly handling like the things that are going on up here. So,
I love that. Such an important reminder. When you started diving into the therapy and the healing, I'm curious if you're open to sharing like what was one of your biggest challenges or like themes that you had to work through individually, like for you in that time. What was some of the hardest stuff?
I'm pretty sure it's a long list. I was honestly just made aware during that time, like how stubborn I was and how unintentionally arrogant I can be. Um, I would like to think that for the most part, you know, I'm nice and sweet and respectful, and I try my best to be like a really, really good person. But I grew up basically with no mentors. Like I was always the person that other people came to. So without like knowing it fully, like sometimes if there's somebody really, really close to me, say like girlfriend, who has something that they observe and that they see and that they're aware of, and they try and like bring it to my attention, it's almost like, what, like that can't be the case. Like I'm over here handling this and doing this and caring about this and exerting this, and it's just like almost just turned off from the idea that like I could be doing something wrong. It was just like well, I didn't mean it that way. So just because I didn't mean it that way, it just kind of cancels it out. And I was just made aware of how arrogant I can be, and it took having my therapist for me to like say things out loud and to get a second opinion and for them to be like, okay, well, of course that wouldn't make somebody else feel good. Or of course you might have seemed like inconsiderate in that moment. Or it was just like little moments like those where I was just like, okay, I got some work to do. And I felt like there were resistance from myself. And I started to watch like my reactions and I started to feel like it's not really me. Like even, you know, if I feel strongly about something, the way that I'm like responding to these things is just it's not my best self. And I feel it immediately after it's out. So it's just like, we got to figure out what that is. And yeah, Sarita, my therapist, was like step one in me truly figuring out like, what's your issue, bro? Like, what are you upset about? What have you not let go of? What have you not cried about? Like, is it something with your mom? And is it something with your dad? Is it something with your brother? Is it something with your sister? Is it something with that relationship from high school? Like, what haven't you got over? And let's go in chronological order and talk about each thing until we like get to the bottom of it. And yeah, Sarita was a big help in helping me take off my cool and take off my filter and get back to like really being myself.
That's powerful. I resonate, you know? And I think earlier on in my path too, I had like the being cool or like non-attached as kind of like a behavioral compensation.
Yeah.
And, you know, I think it can be tough sometimes because there is like a natural there's a real nature to who we are.
Yeah.
And then, you know, these other kind of things that aren't really us, but can look like us. And we can think that they're us, that like that mask, that persona, that identity becomes who we are. And then we suffer off of that. I'm curious because you write so much about love and romantic relationships. How did that also come up in your relationship? Because they're such big mirrors.
Yeah.
Did that like avoidance
Mm.
kind of attachment style, or like, did things eventually come up? I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's been the same with me forever. Like, I can put it on a song, and it's as weird as like I'm putting it on a song and I'm playing it, and I'm kind of looking, in the corner of my eye, like, did you hear that part, or did you hear how I felt about that situation that we didn't talk about? But yeah, I try to use it as a way to communicate. But I just realized over time that that wasn't the most efficient way to do things. And if you have somebody who's truly telling you, like, I'm here, you can talk to me about anything, I won't judge you, I'm here to listen, I'm here to like grow with you. After a while, you have to believe it, like, especially if you like don't abide by that and things still work out, it's like, okay, I really need to get my shit together because I'm not trying to go back to 2016 and have another free black moment. It's like I don't have to sabotage myself if I have people around me that truly care about me. Like, I created this community for a reason. It's like, don't fuck it up now.